All right, continuing on, I'm going to keep talking about the White House press secretary for a minute now, because another clip that I just found wild that was on the news past couple of days, and I don't think it's going to be going away. Biden's press secretary goes after a reporter basically saying that it's like transphobic and dangerous to insinuate that people, men who are in females locker room would ever like assault them or be dangerous to women. That is not something that is unheard of. There are parents on both sides of the political aisle who are saying that they have fear that their daughters are going to be in uncomfortable situations with biological men. And like, just watch this clip of what this reporter asks, a very normal and like standard question, and just listen to how the press secretary like twists the answer.
What would the president say to parents out there who have daughters, let's say in high school, for example, who are worried that their daughter may have to compete against a male, a person born male, and there could be directly in physical athletic competition and worry about their daughter's safety?
So look, what you're alluding to is basically saying that transgender kids are dangerous. It sounds like that's what you're saying. Well, you're saying that their safety is at risk. Yeah, but you're laying out a broad example or explanation of what could potentially happen. A broad example explanation that is dangerous. That is a dangerous thing to say. That essentially transgender kids we're talking about are dangerous.
What a twist, right? Like, how did kids getting assaulted in locker rooms or changing rooms get twisted into this reporter being transphobic? Like, this is an issue that is on a lot of parents' minds. Like, Karine should stop acting like it's not a serious problem. It's like not only unfair for these biological men to be competing in women's sports, but it's unsafe on and like off the court, like on and off of the gameplay, behind the scenes. Like, it's just not a safe situation. Like, when are we going to reach a point where we like cross a line and say like, you know what, this is enough. Like, that's like, when are we going to get to that point? Because according to the press secretary, everything is dangerous. These words are dangerous. This rhetoric is dangerous. Your concern over your children being attacked or humiliated or assaulted is dangerous. It's transphobic to be scared of your daughter being in a locker room with a boy. No, it's not concern or fear. It's just transphobic, and you're a bigot and you're a transphobe. Like, the White House won't look into instances where girls are actually being hurt and injured and attacked on and off of a court, or, on and off of like out of a pool, for example, during either locker room exchanges or on a field or a court, because they don't care. They don't want to hear specific instances because they don't want the stories. They don't want to know the truth behind it. Like, their feminism and their, oh, we stand up for women is phony. It's apparent how phony it is. They're frauds. They don't care about women. They have this guise up that they're here to support women, when in fact they're here to support men who are pretending to be women. And that's just the fact. Like, that's just a fact of the matter. They're frauds. There are so many stories of women coming forward saying, I was hurt on a volleyball court. I was traumatized in a locker room. I felt uncomfortable here. I felt uncomfortable there. And the White House just continually goes, I pretend I do not see it. I pretend I do not hear it, because that doesn't add into their story and their ideology and their this push of this lie that trans athletes performing and competing in women's sports is a good thing and it's safe and it's encouraged. That doesn't add to their storyline that they're trying to push. And it's scary. Like, these young girls who are just starting to get very competitive in their sport might be competing with boys, young boys whose parents were deranged and demented enough to say, yeah, you can be Johnny, you can be a little girl. Yeah, go play with the girls, Johnny. Like, what? It's scary. Like, I would be terrified.